Up next, it's time for Truth or Fake. Catalina Marchand-Abreu is here in studio. Catalina, you're going back to our main story this evening, Hurricane Milton, and some of the conspiracy theories that are circulating online, claiming that the US government is using certain geoengineering technologies to control the weather. What's that all about?
Some users, mainly pro-Trump users online, that is, claim that the government is using technology to manipulate weather patterns and storms. As this user claims, I grew up in the Gulf of Mexico, been watching storms since I was a young boy. I have never seen a storm start here in the Gulf of Mexico and go east. In this post, seen over 6 million times on X, as others such as Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene seems to have an explanation for this. In this post, seen over 5 million times on X, she says, yes, they, referring to the government, can control the weather. Here is Obama CIA Director John Brennan talking about it. She adds this video where John Brennan is referring to what's called the implementation of geoengineering. So let's take a look at the video. Here I've summarized the important bits for you, where we hear him mentioning SAI technology, which stands for stratospheric aerosol injection. That could help reverse the warming effects of global climate change. Where John Brennan is allegedly in this video admitting to the implementation of a plan to use geoengineering technology to control weather.
What information do we have then in regard to these claims about climate-changing technologies, Catalina?
Well, Sharon, these are actually misleading narratives recurrent every time there is a climate disaster. As for this post claiming that there has never been a storm that start in the Gulf of Mexico, we have proof otherwise. In 2021, for example, there was Cyclone Claudette that started in the Gulf of Mexico to then head west, as you can see in the map. Then back in September, there was also Tropical Storm Francine. And finally, back in July, even Storm Beryl. So many other storms, at least 3 we have, that began in the Gulf of Mexico besides Milton. Then this video that Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene posted is out of context. There are actually no credible reports that the CIA director ever announced plans to implement geoengineering technology to change weather patterns. This video actually shows a general discussion on the topic of geoengineering from a 2016 conference. However, they're not discussing the implementation of such technologies. Additionally, SIA, the technology they mention, is still being developed and studied and if implemented slowly, could have a significant geopolitical impact, according to MIT, who say that this technology could benefit some regions at the expense of others. Nevertheless, a widely implemented weather modification technology is cloud seeding. You may have heard of it before. This involves manipulating existing clouds to help produce more rain, technology that is used in over 50 countries, including the US, China, Switzerland, and more famously in Dubai, when there was widespread speculation that cloud seeding technology was behind the major floods that hit the city back in April.
Finally, a lot of misinformation as well online regarding the government's response to Hurricane Helene. Let's clarify some of that as well, Catalina.
In the weeks since Hurricane Helene hit some parts of the U.S., misinformation about the government's response has been spreading on social media, especially amplified by former President Donald Trump and his allies. The first major claim, Trump says that Kamala Harris has stolen and spent all her FEMA money, billions, he says, billions of dollars of FEMA money, to give it to illegal immigrants for housing. The second major claim is that Kamala Harris announced that hurricane victims are only getting $750 from FEMA. So following these fake claims, as our business editor very well said, as there were so many, FEMA did set up a fact-checking page on their website to clarify this misinformation. As to the $750 claim, they say that this is obviously lacking evidence, since FEMA says that this is what hurricane victims receive as an upfront payment to help cover costs of food, water, and other emergency supplies. And following this initial payment, they can receive more funds following an assessment. Then regarding the claim that FEMA funds have been diverted to give to immigrants. FEMA clarifies that $640 million in funds have been set aside for migrant assistance for the 224 fiscal year. However, they also deny claims that the FEMA disaster response funds have been diverted to support migrants or border-related issues. So two different budgets for two different things. One is for migrants, one is for disaster relief funds. However, in 2019, when Donald Trump was president, money was diverted from FEMA's disaster relief fund, about $38 million, to give to the Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency. Ironic enough.
Catalina, thank you so much for clarifying all of that for us. Do stay with us. We'll be right back with more world news.